Good morning, everybody. Well,
Good
good morning, evening, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. Hello, welcome. Morning,
Yes.
Danielle.
Welcome, everyone. How are you today, V?
Surprisingly well, all
Yeah.
things considering. It's been, I think we say this every Friday. Man, it's been a week.
Yeah.
But this week, I've realized that, so my daughter is, we're talking about the vaccines rolling out. When could she move out? She's looking at houses. And I realized that what's going on with me is I have, when you send your kid off to their first sleepover or their first, summer camp, or when they go to college, right? We've already been through all of that. And she's already lived on her own. And she's in her mid-20s. She's an adult. She knows how to do this, right? But I'm having all those same anxieties that you have as a mother. And I've come to realize that it's like mom brain is like reptilian brain. You can't control it. You can just do your best to like go with it and steer yourself in the direction you need to go, because I have been worrying about her safety, about her well-being. I mean, she's still in the house. This is a ways off yet, but it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. My kids are beginning years of high school, and I'm already like thinking about the empty nester feeling, what's going to, all of that stuff. And even like they're such a big part of your lives, especially when they're living at home with you, they're a part of your everyday. And the idea of them not being there every day, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's almost frightening. It's like, for me, it is, because I haven't gotten to that point yet where they've ever been not in the house. So then it's like, well, what do I do? What do I do, right? What do I do personally? Because right now everything is for them. It's all right. What am I going to make for dinner? It's around them. It's everything.
Yeah.
I know there's so, and I think in my friends and the women I've known, there's this, you see a lot of divide there. Some women are just like, oh my gosh, I'm so ready for it, and some women, you have just the complete fear of, of them not being around 24/7. So I know I've seen both sides of it. I'm probably more around the fear of not having them around 24/7.
Well, let me tell you, you can experience both things simultaneously, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna miss her hugging me every morning,
Yeah.
right? Which I've gotten used to again. But I'm also gonna really enjoy having my office back. Because my office right now is in the common area with the dogs and the access to the kitchen, and everybody's out of their respective rooms to get to the restroom, which is in that hallway back there.
Yes.
So, I mean, my house, but our audience, our viewers don't know our house.
Know it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and my office is in the dining room, so we've all made do. COVID's been fun, but if you want to call it that, but it'll be nice to get back to the office.
I would not call it fun. So you got to go into the office.
Yes. Starting to do that space planning. The team has grown since we've been, we've been working from home. In 2 weeks, it will be a whole year. So that we've all been working remotely from our homes, and we've grown our team, in that environment. So now it's the idea, the considerations, okay. And, again, it's not happening soon, but, we're looking 6 months down the road, 4 or 5 months down the road, whatever it's going to be. And okay, what is that going to look like, and where does everyone need to be? And, where everyone was sitting before may not make sense based on, the different departments growing and, all of that. So definitely went in and got to see the office, and we still have our fulfillment guys in there that are, packaging. And so it's always nice to see them. But yeah, it's going to be rewrapping your head around that. It's kind of exciting because, you know, you get to that and like, oh my gosh, I get to go back to the office. Like, you know, it's training employees is difficult when you're doing it via Zoom and remote, and, you know, really getting that feel for the company environment, you know, everyone's personalities, all that stuff, you know, how everybody works, how the current existing employees kind of work together as a team. You know, it's hard to assimilate that and do that remotely when you're doing it via Zoom calls all day or whatever the case is. It's just really, it's a lot more difficult. So, and we get our studio back, Vanessa. We can do these in person next to each other in our studio.
Do you know what I'm really looking forward to? Okay,
What?
everybody, so we're doing a socially distanced production on the 12th of March. And I have no idea when you'll be seeing this video, but I'm so looking forward to that because it means I get to see Danielle in person, 6 feet away from each other,
Masked up, but
it doesn't matter.
no.
We get to be in the same 6-foot area.
Right?
And I'm really excited. Really.
No. And, you know, putting those things on are so fun. And I think that's been one of the things that, as we talk about changing the message, you know, we've been able to figure out how to do these to kind of still put our voice out there on talking about menopause and talking about what's going on in your life, and encouraging women to talk to, you know, your friends, your family, your mother, your sisters, whatever it is, and talk about menopause. And I'm excited for the opportunities that being able to go back to the office opens up for us to push that message forward even more. Yeah, I'm excited for our filming coming up too, but I'm really excited for getting back into the office.
Me too. You know, I missed the coffee machine in our break room. We have a great coffee machine here. I'm not complaining about the state of my coffee, but there's something about break room coffee that just really appeals to me.
You know, and it's funny because we talk about, even in some ways, being home has been more effective. When you think about, you have a meeting at the office and there's chit chat after, and, you know, here we're going from like Zoom call to Zoom call when there's meetings, right? So there's very little downtime, let alone travel time to the office, you know. So there are some pluses that, you know, in some ways I'm going to be like, man, I miss just waking up, getting dressed, and heading down to
I was going to say, I'm going to miss sweatpants. Not that I wear them often, but, you know, if I really want to, I can. I'm going to miss that. But
yeah.
I'm not going to miss much.
I have to admit, I've been wearing yoga pants quite often. In fact, I have them on. You can't see them, but they're on.
I'm wearing my skinny jeans. And have you heard about this whole brouhaha? Gen Z has declared skinny jeans and side parts and the laugh emoji out.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I'm always going to have a side part because when I part my hair in the middle, I look like Janice the Muppet.
You know what? I saw that too. And I was like, you know what? I thought that I had really like upped my game and my style by going to skinny jeans and side parts and, you know, being able to throw out laugh emojis out there. I'm really keeping up with the youngsters. And apparently the youngsters don't think so.
If you're laughing, you need to use the skull emoji, apparently.
Well, and you know what's funny is, so my daughter's 15, and she is literally, she's showing me all this stuff that's in style right now, and fashion just recycles itself, because everything she is putting on, everything she is showing me, I was like, I wore that at your age, you know, right? But somehow we aren't cool, you know, but literally everything she puts on is exactly what I wore at that age, or what was in style back when I was that age. And I was like, and I keep looking at him like, man, the 80s are really coming back. And I can't do it. So if that's what staying in style is about, is I now have to go back to the 80s, it's not happening. I just can't do it. So I'm sticking to my skinny jeans. I'm sticking to my side part.
Well, that's the thing, right? You put on these clothes that you wore when you were a teenager, and suddenly you look like you're trying to be a teenager again.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When the 90s started to make their groove back in, I was like, oh yeah, I want to wear velvet bodysuits again. No, I really don't.
Never want to wear a bodysuit again, period. And they are back in style. They are very much in style again. And, that is just a restrictive that I'm just not wanting.
I'm trying to figure out other ways, because what I realized is I just miss the velvet, right? I don't miss bodysuits. So I actually went through my closet and I was like, I have some velvet things I could pull out of the back of my closet and bring toward the front and probably fulfill that velvet desire without the wedgie.
Right? I have to say the one thing, and I think I'm a sucker for soft things too. The part that I find funny, and I'll catch myself every time I'm wearing it, is I'm sitting there like feeling myself. Like
With this sweater. Yeah.
it's nice and soft.
Well, I'm hoping so. To go back to the conversation about us going back to the office, I am really hoping that by going back to the office, I get back into a groove that my brain understands, because I have had, when I was talking with Dr. Ariana in our Ask an Expert recently, I was telling her, I've got this brain fog. It's just, I feel like some days like I have early onset dementia. I'm not kidding. Like I've Googled the symptoms and I've done some research around it, because what I'm going through in my brain, just my ability to find the right words that I'm looking for, my ability to recall events in my life, it's really frustrating. And she assures me that this is a phase that will pass. That no, I most likely do not have early onset dementia, right? This is not Alzheimer's. This is a thing that happens in menopausal brains, and it will pass. The searching for words is actually because our brains have so many words in them by this age that it's hard to find them in like the index in your brain. So that makes me feel a little bit better. But I'm really hoping that getting back into some sort of normalcy, quote unquote, and some kind of groove at the office will sort of help that brain get back into gear, because it's hard to focus because I'm in a public space, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to be on a Zoom call and have to mute and not hear half the conversation because the dogs are barking. I'm really hoping that that's contributing to this, and that when I get back to the office.
I think there's also a piece that is going to the office, as much as, I'm not looking forward to the drive there. It's additional stimulation for your brain, which I think also adds to kind of waking up your brain, right? If you're, and it plays to that fact that if you're constantly educating yourself, you're stimulating your brain, you're not falling into slumps. And I think that in some ways, part of that is, if I didn't go out and take my walks every day to leave the house, that is my like stimulation for the day, like listening to the birds, just all of that stuff. It's something that change of scenery, I guess, I think will also help that, brain stimulation, that I think will also help our brains just kind of wake up a little bit more, and, being able to have more, even just conversations with people, I think too, that's not just, we have a lot of conversations through the day, but they're very direct. They're very they're thought through, meaningful business conversations.
Yes.
But sometimes
driven, metric driven.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need a creative conversation. That's why I love our conversations, that we get to have on Friday mornings, is we get to invoke that creative side of things, that oh, there goes the brain thing.
Well, I have to say though, my walking is really helping.
Yeah.
I go out in the backyard and I walk around the backyard as often as I can throughout the day and after work, and it really does help.
It does.
Yeah. So if you're not walking, just start doing it. When I started, I'm not a big walker. I injured my knee as a dancer at a very young age, and I've had several surgeries on my knee, and so I am lazy about it. It still hurts to this day. So I'm not, I'm not like charging out to be physically fit. That's just not me. It used to be, but it's not anymore. But if you're not walking, I really encourage it. I get it. I'm not that person either. But when I started walking, it just made a huge difference. My mood is better because I'm outside in the sunlight. And I realize it might be winter where you're at. Still, try to get outside. It makes me feel better. I've definitely lost weight because of it. And I just have, I can't imagine how bad my brain would be if I didn't go out and walk every day. So if you're not walking, start just, okay, I'm going to walk 100 steps around my backyard. That's how I started. And now I do 10,000 steps in my backyard, and I don't even realize that I've taken 10,000 steps. I'm listening to podcasts, I'm on the phone with Danielle, whatever it is. And it doesn't feel like work anymore. It definitely felt like work at first. So, but just get out there and do it. Really, it made such a big difference.
For me too. And, I know we've documented kind of our weight loss journeys, as we've struggled with weight over the years, and especially, being home and, what that's looked like during COVID. And I put on weight, with stress. I know that I stress eat. And if I'm too busy, I'm like, screw it. Like, I toss up my hands and I'm like, that brings me comfort right there. Let's do that. I know it about myself. And it took a lot of self exploring, looking in, and being mindful about looking at what I was eating, what I was doing during those times, to really be able to step back and identify that. So, part of that is I've identified that. Second was, of course, our MenoFit and our Happy Fiber product. As we were working towards introducing that, I needed to test it out. And here's the honest truth, ladies. The MenoFit helped my energy. It helped. The probiotics in it are designed to help with reducing adipose tissue and stuff like that. But you have to keep at it every day. You cannot skip your MenoFit. Now, it's going to be great for those initial pounds and to get the energy up and to get it going. What really boosted things for me was feeding my probiotic properly with our Happy Fiber. What it did, though, was it gave me that energy to do that first mile.
Yeah.
It gave me the energy that I wanted to do that first mile. And that first mile was hard. And you think of it, I was like, oh my gosh, I walked a mile. But, really, a mile is not that long. It's not that far. It's probably about 20 minutes of walking, really, to get a mile in. Depending on your, level of activity. And that's where I started. I started at a mile, and I remember being huffing like at that mile. And I am one that I have worked out in my years, but with starting the company and everything and kids and everything else, that all took priority over me going to the gym for a long time. So I had put on weight, I had stress ate, all of those things led to the weight that it gotten put on. And that's just life. That is life. We all wish that that wasn't life, but that's life. And it happens. And, so being able to get my energy back enough to do that first mile. And then I remember making it to 1.5 miles, and that was a big deal. That was 30 minutes of walking, and I remember when we did that, my husband and I have been doing this together. And through that, we're up to minimum, like if we don't get 3 miles in a day, we don't feel like we've done enough. And we were doing anywhere between 5 to 8 miles a day. Now, that takes time. I understand that too. So, but we started prioritizing that because it made us feel so good. And we had built that. We didn't want to lose that. And it happened because of the energy from MenoFit. It happened because, using that, the weight loss started happening too. And walking was a part of that. The probiotics, the fiber were a huge part of that, because the other thing that fiber did, and by changing your microbiome, you're changing what you crave. If you're feeding your microbiome the right things, then what you're doing, which are the right things, lots of fruits, vegetables, high fiber foods. And I mean like unprocessed as much as you can get, high fiber foods. Avoid things like white rice and white bread and, but we were doing a lot more things like quinoa and stuff like that to add some additional fiber on top of our fiber supplement. But what that did was it changed the microbiome. It changed my cravings. Now, MenoFit already did that for me. It changed my sugar cravings, which is one of the things that I love about MenoFit. But the fiber changed the general food cravings. And I have to tell you about my husband real quick, because to me, he is literally like the epitome. I have always loved healthy eating, and I hit roadblocks here and there that has always thrown me off the train tracks, right? But my husband was always like bacon, 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 bacon. He loved meat. If 90% of the plate was meat and 10% was vegetable, he was good. If I tried to make it any more than that, it was like, I'm not having it. So
I know her husband, and I can just imagine the conversations around the
well, and it was always a constant, like me giving that, nutrition guidance and all this stuff constantly. And he was always like, yeah. Fat pings my brain. I love my bacon. So when he did this with me, and he was actually able to change the flora in his microbiome, when we went into COVID, the one thing he wanted me to stock up just in case was bacon. And we had bacon in our freezer that he wanted to make sure he had the bacon on hand. Since we've been doing this when did we start? September or August? I want to say it was September. Since we've started this,
the Happy Fiber MenoFit,
the Happy Fiber MenoFit mix, I think he's made 1 pack of bacon. 1. He actually asks me for salads for lunch. Like, this is something that I never thought would happen. Like me, I know it. I want it. I actually do crave those vegetables and stuff, except when I'm stressed and except when things just aren't going right. Then I turn to other, foods that aren't good for me and aren't healthy for me. But he was convinced that what his body and brain wanted was this high fat food. And, and there are some places, I know we're going to have the women, but keto, and, they're doing so good on keto. And there are some good ways to do keto, and there's bad ways to do keto, just as there's good ways to do being a vegan versus bad ways to be a vegan. You have to have that balance of the right, proteins and fibers and, so my big preach is whole food, minimally processed diet, and eat the rainbow. That is, if I could, really push home on eating the rainbow. which is hard. And maybe today's the day I go into eating the rainbow. This is my one nutrition advice that I think people don't fully understand is eating the rainbow. When I say eat the rainbow, I don't mean, oh, I had strawberries this week and I had a little bit of blueberries and I had some spinach and, I had some corn in there. That's 4 colors. No, that's not what I mean. To find true health with through diet and through what you eat, you have to really, they actually say that it's about 35 varieties of fruits and vegetables within your week.
That's so many.
It's so many. It is so many. But and so we're not going to get there probably. That is probably an unachievable goal. But we can always strive for it. And we can keep that in the back of our minds of, okay, I'm not going to eat a banana every single day and say I ate my fruit. I'm going to eat strawberries today, blueberries tomorrow, bananas today, peaches the next day. They all provide oranges the next day. It's the variety that actually gets you the maximum nutrients. Every piece of those fruits that I just named offer different nutrients. A banana is completely different than your blueberries. And so you get great potassium out of bananas, but you get great antioxidants out of blueberries. So if you're only limiting yourself to one and saying, oh, well, I got my fruit in for the day, you're actually not doing your body the justice that it deserves. So, and on top of that, the walking. So really driving home, here is my nutrition and exercise horse for the day. Eat the rainbow. That means shake things up. I want Brussels sprouts. I want broccoli. I want asparagus. Yes, there's a lot out there around corn. So maybe you want to limit your corn because of the GMO stuff, but there's so many other varieties out there. And walk, ladies, walk to the mailbox and back. Start there, just get out, get your shoes on. I've said that it's a mindful thing. It's all in our heads sometimes, and sometimes we have physical, ailments, restraints, something like that. But the endorphins that you release when you are exercising and even just walking, it helps so much with so many different things. It helps your weight, it helps your anxiety, it helps your mood. There's just so much that just getting out there and walking does for you. That mom brain, you get out and what do you do when you're walking? You're thinking, right? You're not stuck in a slump when you're sitting down and watching a television show. You're not thinking, the TV show's thinking for you. Mm-hmm. You're not actually, you might engage in your own head about some little thing they said, but you're actually not thinking. You're not engaging your brain. So as we're talking about this not even just the mom brain, but the brain fog piece of things, to get yourself out of that, engage your mind. If you want to get out of a slump with, your body and how it feels, engage your body, start walking, engage your brain, do those things. And really, really commit to it, just as much as you have to commit to taking, your medication every day, your supplements every day, commit to walking every day, commit to eating a new fruit or vegetable every day, or maybe once a month at least, something. It's just really important. I think that's, to your point around the brain fog and all of that, just, it helps. And especially in today's day and age with what we have going on with COVID, and I know there's lots of, opinions out there about COVID too, and what's going on. So I just encourage everyone to eat the rainbow and to walk.
Yeah. Well, I don't eat the rainbow, certainly.
Vanessa.
But I take my Menofit and my Happy Fiber, so I feel like, that's a start.
It is a start. It really is a start, and there are ways to jumpstart things, and that's, our supplements are definitely there to help that, and to, even our fiber, it gives you, we didn't come in with one type of fiber because we knew the importance of giving you a variety of fiber into your diet to feed your microbiome. There was a lot of research and study done into our fiber supplement. It's just not one type of fiber, which is a lot of what's on the market. We actually blend 3 types of fibers. Plus we have our L-tyrosine in there to help boost mood. So there's a lot more into our fiber to help you get there than anything else. And so you are taking more care of your body just by doing that.
Right. And that's why I feel like I don't have to eat the rainbow. I know I should. And I know that you'll just keep harping on me until I do.
I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to ask you next week.
Oh no.
How you added variety to your diet.
Okay, well, my husband does the grocery shopping and the cooking.
I'll have to talk to him.
Okay.
He'll have to be aware of the challenge then.
Well, he's really good about it, but he's like your husband is. He likes his cheese and he likes his pasta. And I have recently discovered that I can't eat potatoes anymore. Anything that's potatoes, if it's mashed potatoes, potato chips, French fries, doesn't matter. If it's a potato created food, it what?
What about sweet potatoes?
No, even worse. Spikes my hunger. I need to go see so Danielle and I share the same doctor. You probably heard me say that before. I need to go see her because it's whenever I eat potatoes, I will be eating them and grow hungrier and hungrier. And by the time I'm done eating, I'm ravenous. And half an hour later, I'm still ravenous and I need sugar. Yeah, so there's something going on with my insulin levels or something. I need to go get that checked. But I did have my my hormone panels done. Yeah, so I'm right on cue for perimenopause. She was like, this is textbook. Every doctor I've ever seen about any medical ailment in my life is like, oh yeah, you could be a textbook case. So
wait. Does that mean that you're average, I guess?
Yes. It means I'm so average.
Well,
yeah. Oh my gosh. We only have 9 minutes left until our next meeting. How did that happen?
Well, and part of when we said we wanted to start this, we are very busy ladies all day long, and I'm so glad that we actually take this time to sit with you and to be able to have these conversations. Please leave us comments if you have questions and stuff for us. We'd love to hear from you if this is helpful. If you love hearing from us, please let us know. We love taking the time out of our week. We can probably only commit to this once a week, but we love taking the time to do this for you guys and to just show you that, what, we're real too. We're going through stuff too. Our supplements help us. They do help improve things, but there's still ups and downs with it. And, I think I've even said it on here that the goal is to take what looks like this through our menopause journey and just smooth it out a little bit more, We want
to feel nicer.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a roller coaster. Right?
It doesn't need to be such a bumpy road. We're not on an off-road trek here, like, rock climbing and everything else. It's not, it doesn't feel good.
We're out for a nice smooth sail.
Yes, that's what it's about. Estrogen is going to decline as you're going through those hormonal changes is what's causing a lot of what's going on with us as we go through menopause. And And it's not an even, we think, oh, our estrogen's declining. No, our estrogen's going like this, like the whole time. And, and we're feeling that. Sometimes hot flashes are worse, and sometimes they're okay, and sometimes they're just out of control, and night sweats and mood swings and all this stuff. And it's all hormone related. The majority of it's hormone related. And so we're here to help ladies get it like this, as close as we can. That's the idea. You're still going to have a little bit of, oh, boop, 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 but it's not, it hopefully shouldn't be like this anymore.
A
So
blip is better than valley. Yeah.
yeah, stick with it. Stick with everything. Consistency is key. Variety is key. And that's in everything in life. So be consistent. Get out there in life and be consistent. Walk, take your supplements consistently so that you're having consistent results. Be consistent with your fibers so that you're getting consistent maximum results out of your probiotic and you're feeding your microbiome. They have linked it and they're coming out with so many studies around the microbiome and how it's literally like your second brain. So stick with things, stick with your eating, try to eat the rainbow. Try something new this week. Try adding variety or trying something new. I used to take my kids to the grocery store and we would have a challenge of they would have to pick something they'd never tried before out of the produce section, not the other sections, only the produce section. So it had to be new fruit or new vegetable they had never seen, never tried. And to this day, one of our favorite things that we just happened to pick up was a daikon radish. And it's completely different than normal radishes. But oh my gosh, like roasting it with some coconut oil with some beets, delicious.
All right, so Danielle has thrown down the gauntlet for all of us who don't eat the rainbow, myself included. All right, I will report back next Friday.
I'm making a note of it.
And we'll see how well I do. And you guys should let us know what you plan on trying and what you want to see happen for yourself over the next week. We'll all come back and we'll all see how well we did.
Yes.
All right, ladies, until next time, Danielle and I have to run to our next meeting. We have just enough time to take a bathroom break. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.